There are a lot of protein products on the market today, and it can be very confusing. So how is XOJO different than other protein products?
Oh, that's another great question. I mean, really, you look at it, what's on the market right now when we're being saturated with protein, messages of I have 40 grams, I have 20 grams, I have 25 grams, and somebody sitting there says, okay, well, what does this all mean? Now, we know that it's all about the quality and not just about the quantity of protein that we're getting. And so we're going to talk to you a little bit today about how you should look at a product and evaluate it critically from a nutritional standpoint to say, am I getting the quality that I really need? So we have the great XOJO products here, and we also have the powder. The powder is another great convenient source, a way to get your XOJO.
So are these the same product?
They are exactly the same product. This is the X10 and this is the ready to drink product, and basically in one of these tubs you have the equivalent of 8 of these bottles, 32 doses, okay, in one bottle, which is critical.
Very convenient.
It is very convenient. And you know, the nice thing about the packaging here is, unlike some of these other products where they have huge big bottles and then 50% of it is empty space,
right,
we made sure that for the convenience perspective that bottle is absolutely packed so that you're not taking up a lot of counter and space in your pantries. You've got it right there ready to go, and it's easily portable in suitcases as you're traveling as well.
Yeah,
so great.
We've gotten a lot of good feedback on that.
Absolutely. So let's just talk for a moment about, okay, how do I look at a product critically to understand what type of protein am I getting? And really we need to take a look at the nutritional facts panel here, and we see, okay, I'm going to get 25 grams of protein. But now let's take a look at what kinds of proteins there are. And this is where it gets a little confusing. I mean, oftentimes the font goes to microscopic. We have to pull out the magnifying glass and take a look at what's actually there. Now let's just read some of these ingredients. The first ingredient is water. It's a ready-to-drink product, so we would expect water to be one of the first ingredients. Calcium, sodium, caseinate. Big long word.
Caseinate's
not a good word. Absolutely not. There's a lot of marketing behind the idea that caseinates are good because they sit in your stomach and they're slow release. They're also cheaper. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why people want to tout their benefits. In reality, we're learning that when protein sits in our stomach for a long period of time, it's actually not delivering the benefits that we think it's delivering. Those amino acids really aren't being rapidly absorbed. And so we really want rapidly absorbing protein. So caseinate's something that we should avoid.
Okay, what do we want instead of caseinate?
We should be looking for an isolate. But let's talk here for a minute as we continue. It says calcium, sodium, caseinate, and or milk protein isolate. Okay, it's kind of unusual they have an and or here. Okay, we can put then this or this or this, but milk protein isolate is a great marketer's word. You say, well, I'm supposed to look for isolates. I just told you you're supposed to look for isolates, and it says it has milk protein isolate, so this must be good, right? Well, in reality, milk protein isolate is window dressing. It's not really a true isolate in the sense it is isolated. It's basically filtered milk. Okay. But it's not a true isolate in the sense that gram for gram, I'm getting the highest amount of protein and high quality amino acids in gram per gram. So it's just a way in which they've been able to confuse people and say, well, it's a milk protein isolate, and they get that word isolate in there, and it's not really something that we want. And then they have milk protein concentrates. Concentrates, again, a cheaper form of protein, and so people look and say, oh, well, it's a concentrate, it must be good, right? Concentrated power? No, actually, it means that it's a less purified version of the protein. And so it just all comes down to really looking at what's in that product and what is my protein source. You can even go to products where they say, here it says, filtered low-fat milk is their source. Well, you're as good off as drinking chocolate milk, which in the 80s was a good source of protein, but we've advanced a little bit since 1980.
We have more options.
We have more options, and we should be looking at those. And some people look at this and say, well, it's more natural in its form. Well, that's the benefit of the isonatural protein, because you're actually getting protein in its natural form, in its natural shape, rapidly absorbed so that our bodies can actually utilize it. Now, I want to point out another protein source that is being used often in products, and I'm just reading here, proprietary blend of, and what's the first protein source? They usually go in the amount, so the first protein listed is the greatest, the most protein that's there. Collagen protein isolate. Again, use that magic word isolate, must be good, right? Well, what is collagen?
Isn't it like Jell-O?
Exactly. It's just basically a form of gelatin, and again, we're right back to that idea of 3 amino acids that our bodies really don't need. Not branch chain amino acids, not essential amino acids, it's collagen. And so, yeah, it might make your skin feel better and your nails feel better, but you'll get the same benefit if you're eating lots of Jell-O.
Okay.
So again, it's a very inexpensive form of protein, goes into solution very easy to formulate with. Now, the protein sources that we see in XOJO, okay? We see here that we have what's the first thing that's listed here? Whey protein isolate. That's really the protein source that has all of this research done around it, okay? That's the one that shows the benefits of muscle recovery and muscle performance. Whey protein isolate. And the next one is soy protein isolate. Now, a lot of people say soy. I want to stay away from that, right? I've heard that soy protein isolates can mess around with my isoflavone levels, so the phytoestrogen or my testosterone levels. This is a new type of soy protein. And the amount of isoflavones, which are those phytoestrogens in one bottle, is the equivalent of 1/4 of one soybean. So an infinitely small amount of phytoestrogens. But why do we put soy in the product? Because whey, as good as it is, it lacks in 2 critical amino acids, glutamine and arginine. We hear a lot about glutamine, we hear a lot about arginine, why L-arginine and L-glutamine are so important. It's here and it's in its natural form, and that's what the soy gives. Naturally high in glutamine and in L-arginine. So we have all of the branch chains that we need, and we have both the branch chains and the L-arginine and the L-glutamine in the protein source. We can also look at the types of carbohydrates that you have here. XOJO has both complex and simple sugars for immediate energy release and long-term energy release, using 2 different biochemical pathways so that you're getting the maximum amount of energy possible. And it's formulated in the appropriate way, following the recommendations of the international sports nutrition community that says this is the amount of protein that you need to get combined with this amount of carbohydrates per hour so that we see the maximum benefits.
Okay, great. So if I understand this correctly, we need to compare the products. This is going to clarify the whole situation for us.
Right.
We need to pick up the label and compare the products and see where that protein is coming from. And XOJO really has the highest quality protein that's available on the market, so that's really all we need.
Exactly. You know, it was formulated with the idea that we really want to create the best product and not just a product that is the cheapest to make or the most profit potential for the manufacturers. It's really about providing the best quality protein for you. So really take a look at those labels, see what's there, recognize that if I'm only getting whey protein isolate, I'm low in glutamine and arginine, and if I'm turning to collagen or some of these other sources of protein, they're just inferior and oftentimes used, unfortunately, because they're just less expensive.